I suppose in a sense that this podcast, I've been wanting to do one for a very, very long time. I do one for work with Spearline, but that's the thing. It's a Spearline podcast. It's very focused on the company and what we do and the industry. While I've wanted to do something just more so for myself, whether it be kind of a talk show, kind of get guests on or something, talk shit for a bit. That's what I'm trying to figure out with this. I'm just talking shit. I will be talking about shows, movies, or whatever, or interests as it goes on, hopefully. But kind of finding my footing is always is the worst bit. Any podcast that I would be listening to, which there is a few now, I've noticed as well, more and more people are podcasting because of this coronavirus, which is great. But I'd say I wouldn't be surprised by the time this is all over, there's going to be so many people that just absolutely hate podcasts. So this is probably going to be added to the list. But yeah, I will be listening to a load of them and trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about was the hardest thing. So obviously trying to be general, you got to keep a bit of a healthy mix of general news and stuff. So what would you like to see? Leave ideas in the comments below. I'll be having a look. For the first few episodes, I'd say we'll be just talking about general news, how things are, and maybe an interest, whether that be books, shows, movies, whatever like that. Either reviews or even just talking about what they are, opinions and stuff. I know that Netflix and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime and whatever are all thriving at the moment. They're all absolutely delighted that this whole pandemic thing is happening, I'd say, because so many people are tuning in, getting through that season of whatever, season 50 of Lost, 24, I don't know, Downton Abbey, something like that, catching up on all those shows they've been putting off, and getting through all these movies. And I've been the same. Since this has started and since I moved into my new apartment, that I think I've caught up on about 6 shows. Well, I watched 6 shows on Netflix that I had been putting off and meaning to get around with. The one show that I keep meaning to get onto, and I keep promising my girlfriend because I do want to watch it. I saw the first 2 episodes and it was very, very good. And I know that the book series is meant to be brilliant. But His Dark Materials, which was on BBC One earlier this year, or last year, in 2019. And yeah, it looked really, really good. And I was enjoying it. And I think my problem with shows, I think it's because of the Netflix generation and all this instant stuff. I don't enjoy watching shows weekly anymore. When The Mandalorian came out there last year, when I illegally streamed it without Disney Plus, I kind of waited until I think 5 or 6. There was only 8 episodes, and I think I waited until 5 or 6 episodes in before I just started, and I binged all of them together, and then I watched the finale. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant show. And then I realised then that, oh yeah, Disney Plus was coming out in Ireland about 3 months later, but then they were going to be releasing the episodes weekly, even though I'm pretty sure most of Ireland had already seen Mandalorian. I was talking with people at work about it before Disney Plus arrived in Ireland, and they had done the exact same as me. So I'm kind of wondering, did Disney Plus put a loss there? But yeah, with Netflix, the show that I am watching weekly, that's going to be wrapping up actually this week, is Better Call Saul. Fantastic series, really, really good, really enjoyable. I hope that more and more people actually that hadn't started Breaking Bad have started Breaking Bad because of this pandemic. And if they have, and you're listening to this, well, I hope you enjoyed it. People who are watching Better Call Saul, what do you think of this season? I think personally it's been my favourite season so far. The fact that he is now Saul Goodman, he's this shady guy, all the pieces are kind of coming together without spoiling, with the cartel and stuff. And Kim is a brilliant character. I remember when I started Better Call Saul, I think it was about think it was about 3 years ago. And I was very, very hesitant. I think it was on its second or third season already. And I was really against the idea of them doing a spin-off show about this one character from Breaking Bad, who I did like, but I thought that Breaking Bad was fine on its own, they were milking it. And I was against it, and even though people were raving about it, and it wasn't until my girlfriend actually just said to me, like, just watch the show, you like it. I got through season 1, and I was like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. And I can't remember the exact moment when I actually just really I found myself really enjoying the show. I know at the time when in Breaking Bad, when I fell in love with it, when Walt goes to Tuco's place and he does the "this isn't meth" and he throws it down, blows up his place and walks out. I think it was that episode when I kind of went like, okay, this is very, very cool. This is a show I'm gonna love, and I did. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, with Saul it took a bit longer, and I think that I was also a bit more stubborn to watch it. But one thing that I did find that they completely milked with Breaking Bad that was kind of unnecessary was that El Camino movie that came out last year. Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I I don't even know what made me think of it. And I kind of went, wow, that was a completely forgettable movie. What a load of shit. It was just, I don't know, it was nothing. It kind of, yeah, I wanted to know how Jesse got on at the end of Breaking Bad, but jeez, it just kind of felt, I don't know, very empty and soulless, and yeah, it just felt, it wasn't a movie anyway, it just felt like a longer episode. And there was a whole nostalgia factor where you got to see these characters again. But I think that I was already getting that nostalgia factor with Better Call Saul, and I'm more interested in these other characters rather than just all the druggies and whatever, the shady underbelly and underside. But anyway, with other shows, I finally got around to watching You Season 2. That was... Look, I'm a kind of person where I don't mind dramas. I don't mind soap dramas, soaps and stuff. But I prefer them if they have a bit of an edge to them, where the character is kind of this interesting, scheming mastermind or whatever. And You Season 1 was kind of, oh my god, it was trash. But I watched the entire season in a night when it came out, and I still to this day can't think of what made me want to watch it. And then the season trailer for season 2 came out, and I didn't watch it. I stopped myself from watching it, and then when the pandemic happened the first weekend, I ended up finding myself watching the whole thing, and once more kind of going like, why did I watch that? Why did, like, I'm so interested in these characters, but why? It's kind of trashy. It's not even a good serial killer show compared to early Dexter or something like that, where you're really, really invested with these characters and they were all interesting, and even there was some shit ones and there were some whiny ones that frustrated you. But with this, it's just trash. It's so bad. There was another show then that came out, a miniseries on Netflix. I'm Not Okay With This. It was okay. I'm not okay with this. I'm okay with it. Yeah, it's fine. Kind of a bit more easygoing, more easy to watch. I think I have gone into more shows with shorter episodes. I don't really like the whole, we're going to have an hour long episode and there's nearly 10 episodes. That's 10 hours of TV. 10 mini movies. And I think Netflix are realising that they have shortened it down. I think that's one of the reasons why as well I was able to binge watch The Mandalorian so easily, because each episode was only, I think it was about 22 minutes long, and they always felt so short. They felt about 10 minutes. So yeah, and then coming on to the final segment of this, Netflix then announced that Community was going to be put onto Irish and UK Netflix. and I was over the moon. It's my favorite show. It is, it's amazing. So I was delighted to see once April 1st came around, and I stuck on episode 1. I've watched Community countless times. It is my favorite show. It started in 2009, finished in 2015, and it was in 2015 I actually got into it in college. A friend of mine recommended it to me, and it's just about a bunch of characters in community college. It's written by people would know him more now from Rick and Morty, Dan Harmon, and it's just about these 7 characters in it, main 7, and they're all going to community college together. The main character, Jeff, he's an ex-lawyer, and he faked his way to get a bachelor's, and then he got exposed, and so now he's back in community college trying to get that degree again, and he fakes being a Spanish tutor and sets up a study group so he can just bang the blonde-haired girl, Jillian Jacobs, who's named Britta. And it goes on from there, and as the show goes on, it gets more and more cartoony and wacky. It's a sitcom. It's just this easygoing, light-hearted sitcom about people in community college, and it's incredibly dorky, incredibly meta. Like one character, Abed, he knows he's in a... Well, he keeps alluding to that we're in a show, and everyone kind of just like, oh, okay, whatever, Abed, you're weird. And but like, what they do with the whole meta commentary is very, very clever. It isn't like, there's loads of really good jokes that like you would laugh at, rather than be kind of pointing at the camera constantly. And then they do, like, they take on as many genres as possible, and the writing for it's fantastic. The acting in it is brilliant. It's gotten so many big names, and it's genuinely funny, and it's very heartfelt. You could easily binge the 6 seasons that are there in a week. There's 110 episodes, and I started on April 1st and I finished on April 14th. And I was watching about 3 or 4 episodes a night, I think. But it's so you can easily fall down a rabbit hole with Community. It is very, very good. The first 3 seasons are brilliant. Season 4 is bad, and there's reasons for that, because Dan Harmon I think he quit, or else he was kicked off. I can't remember exactly, but he wasn't on the show, and you can just tell the writing is really, really bad. But then Dan Harmon comes back. The show has nearly been cancelled every season as well. There's less and less episodes coming out each season, as with most American TV shows. But the writing of season 5 is miles better. It goes back to kind of being normal, and then there's seasons, and then it was cancelled, and then bought by Yahoo, which was like it was when Yahoo did a little streaming service, and it had nothing on it. People did watch season 6, and then it just wrapped up, finished, and everyone's asking, begging, pleading for a movie. # 6 seasons in a movie. And apparently there's talks of that the cast have met up. Either it was before the pandemic broke out, or they've been meeting with Zoom calls and stuff. And yeah, everyone's kind of hoping that means we are actually going to get that movie only 5 years later. But like, the casting in it is fantastic. We have the likes of like Donald Glover right before he got massive, Childish Gambino, Jim Rash, Ken Jeong, some big level American comedians. Chevy Chase is one of them. Alison Brie from Glow, Jillian Jacobs, as I said earlier. There's loads of cameos by other big name comedians that feature in the show, either as recurring characters or just one-offs. Yeah, it's fantastic. And then it's got the guys who directed Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, the Russo brothers. They started off their career with, well, it was a starting point with Community. They did some of the best episodes with paintballing. They also did Arrested Development as well. I just started that too. I just started that the other night. It's fine. It's funny, but I prefer the style of